Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
Oh, welcome in to a Tuesday edition of the JP Peterson Show. I am fired the F up today. Got so much good stuff to bring to you local people of Tampa Bay. We are just we got breaking news that we're going to give you regarding the Rays stadium plans. We got that coming up for you. We got awkward press conferences all over the NFL. Jerry Jones and Liam Cohen. That's what's fun about presser day, right? We're biting kneecaps. You never know what's going to happen.
So awesome.
TJ Rives is going to join us as we talk about the OC search and what went down last week at One Buck Place. We're also going to talk about Junior Caminero of the Rays. We got so much good stuff. What else? Brian Bradley's going to join us from Morning Skate as the Bolts are back home now for 5. They got Chicago tonight. So lots of good stuff to get through. Good morning to you, Tim Ham, at our DSP affiliate in Dallas.
And cold and cloudy, and it looks a lot colder outside than it really is here in North Dallas at the FanStream Sports Studios. But good morning, Tampa. Good morning, St. Pete. Good morning, all of Tampa Bay. I hope the weather's better there.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely. This is our season, baby. You know, the cold snap is over, so now it's like 60s and 70s and sunshine, no humidity. Oh, perfect weather. And all the big events are coming up, our outdoor events, the Grand Prix, the Valspar, spring training is coming. Oh,
yeah. So I priced first class tickets, plane tickets out for the Grand Prix.
Yes.
And it was only right at about $2,000 for 2.5 hours.
Of course,
flight.
at FanStream Sports, we only fly first class, as you know. Only first class.
I'm like, for a 2.5 hour flight, you want $2,000.
Is that what it is?
For first class, yeah.
Wow. I guess you got money to burn. Why not, right?
Like a regular ticket was like $300, but like round trip.
Well, we'll see you soon. All right, let's get into this. I want to get to the
we lost your audio. There you are.
All right, folks. Stop with the texting and everything. I'm doing this on my phone today because they're having some computer issues. So anybody out there, stop texting me. I'm doing a live show. All right. So according to yesterday, Colleen Wright wrote a story in the Times. She caught up with Stu Sternberg at the Tiger Bay meeting and, said, hey, you got $700 million plus in public funds to build a new stadium. You're going to make another, $700 million on the real estate when the shovel's going into the ground, Stewie. Sure, she didn't phrase it like that as disrespectfully as I put that. But so Stewie, what's up? And he basically said, we're not sure yet. 17 years into the process. Deal's done. You got all your bonds. Got everything you could possibly ever want. You ready? Yeah, we're not sure yet. We're not sure what we're going to do. Because by March 31st, they have to check off all these different things in terms of design, financing, all these things that they have to check out. The city and the county have bent over, and I mean bent over, and it's still not enough. The Rays want more public money. They're out trying to raise some money on the streets, according to a couple sources that have been approached, offering 20% return on any investment that they could get to get the funding gap, which is interesting. 20% return. That's a lot of money. That's a nice percentage. So I don't know how that's going. It would be nice. But I know they're out on the street trying to get that done. But here's the curious piece of breaking news from a very, very good source inside the Rays, that most of the employees that they hired to work on the new stadium have been furloughed. So they're not working on the new stadium.
Nobody is.
Nobody is. Now, that doesn't mean the St. Pete deal is totally dead, because there, obviously there is, as we reported and Ken Rosenthal reported as well, there are a group in Tampa trying to buy this team that would build in Tampa. Now, I'm also told there could be another group that is trying to buy the team that may want to revive this St. Pete deal. So that would make sense for the Rays to furlough their people, because they're not planning on doing the deal. If the deal goes through in St. Pete, it might be with that ownership group. I still don't believe Major League Baseball wants that deal to go through. I think they would. Let me rephrase that. If they got the ownership right and everything, and the deal in Tampa fell through, I think they might look at that. But I think that the Tampa deal and the Tampa ownership group, and of course, obviously, Stu's driving a very hard bargain. He wants probably $3 billion for the team, some ridiculous price.
I got
and
$20.
And Major League Baseball is like, let's just get this done at a fair market rate, which will bring him, a $2 billion profit in addition to all the money that he's already printed over these 15 years he's owned the team, or whatever it is, 2004, I guess, going back. So again, the Rays themselves are not moving forward with this project because they furloughed most of the people that have worked on the deal. If they were going to go through with it, I would think those people would be diligently working to fulfill the obligations that they have to fulfill by March 31st. And that doesn't appear to be the case. So again, I think, as we've said many times, this deal in St. Pete, and the Rays have said many times, the deal in St. Pete is dead. The bonds will be, for all those people that went after, everybody about delays here and delays there in the media and online, you were wrong again. It was never about them. It's always about Stu. So
let me ask you this, JP. Why would a new ownership group that's coming in be interested in building in St. Pete? What would that motivation be?
The money, the real estate deal. There's a lot of money to be, tons of money to be made there. Even with the cost overruns, the alleged cost overruns, if they were, say $200 million, there's enough profit built in that real estate deal that you could easily absorb that. If you're a big money, billionaire group, that would not be hard, or a single billionaire. I mean, I would think with, if you have long-term vision, you're going to make a lot more money in the long term. And there's a lot of public money. I mean, it's a ridiculous amount of public money that you won't find anywhere else, to be quite honest. Everybody's talking about, they're going to move to Nashville. No, Nashville doesn't have the money. All these places that people think they're going to move to, they don't have the money, and there's no appetite to build stadiums publicly. And plus, you have to pay a relocation fee of $1 billion to $1.5 billion. Or if you're an expansion team, it's a $2 billion expansion fee. Then you got to build the stadium. Then you got to run the team. It's a lot of money. So in a new market, all these things, hard to do, no doubt. So we'll see where it goes. But at this point, I think if you're waiting for a March 31st deadline to see if the Rays are going to be the ones to go through with this and build this stadium, I think that's a big fat no. Because if Stu, and also if they were going to go forward with it, I mean, we're almost to February. You have to be working on these financing issues and design and everything, all these things that they have to comply with by March 31st. If they're not diligently working on all of those things right now with all of their employees, then it's not happening. So clearly it's not happening. I mean, but to know that these employees, many of them have been furloughed, is just basically another nail in the coffin for the St. Pete deal. Yeah. So is what it is.
Well, my Christmas wish for this year is for a stadium to get built in Tampa. And I know it won't be, but a retractable roof stadium would be great. I'd love to see open field, open air baseball in the Tampa area.
Oh, we're going to see it soon, baby.
No, I know we are. And you guys are going to get a taste of how great open air Major League Baseball is. I don't care if it's in a minor league park. Yeah. It's just the sound is different. The feel is different. The smell is different.
It's like going to the spring training games.
It's the best thing in the world. And I want Tampa to have that full time after 2026, after 2027. at least the option for it with a retractable roof stadium. I want it to be in Tampa. I have no dog in this fight. I just think from what I've seen from the outside, that's the best thing for the city, and it would benefit longer the city and the entire area, not just the city.
There's something magical about a well-manicured green grass field and the dirt. It just because it brings us back to
Louis Chesney disagrees with me. Retractable roofs are for wussy.
I listen. I don't care. I'll take an outdoor field over a totally closed indoor field. I know, and I just for baseball, for me,
I know.
I went to a game on July 4th in Atlanta at night. Yeah, it was kind of hot, but I wasn't like, oh my God, I can't breathe, I'm gonna die. No,
I just mean from a fan experience and having grown up in North Texas and lived in North Texas and had no option for indoor baseball. All we had was outdoor baseball from 1972 until 2020 when they opened the new ballpark here. By the way, we've had 3 ballparks in that time here in Dallas.
Yes, you have.
And I've been in August at the ballpark in Arlington. I tried to take my little kids to a baseball game in the middle of the summer when it was 104 degrees. It's not fun.
Yeah, it's true. I get it. But whatever. Well, I'll take anything in Tampa at this point. Yeah. I'll take anything. Just give me. But Agreed. There's ways. But by the way, there are ways to grow grass indoors.
Yeah, there are now.
So hopefully we can get that done, or a retractable roof, or however, a translucent roof, whatever you want to do. Yeah. Just make it happen. But I love the green grass. We're going to experience that this year, and it's going to be spectacular. Just going to be absolutely spectacular.
I'm coming to some games this year, JP. I've said that. I'm on record. I'm coming out to some games this year.
All right. Tell Gerber to get the expense card ready.
The black card ready.
Let's go.
I'm not flying first class.
On to Liam Cohen here. Interesting day yesterday, and TJ Rives is going to join us here in a little bit. I watching the press conference. It was awkward to say the least. He did not come across as authentic. He did not come across as it just to me it kind of fell flat. Now, the press conference doesn't mean jack shiz. It really doesn't. It's about winning football games, and that's all it's about. Go out and improve the team. We'll see where it's at. Right. But we have a couple of sound bites, and we'll start off with the one where he was asked, I think it was the first question, about his departure from Tampa, his slithering out of Tampa. And here's that piece.
Which one is it? Is it the presser at the table?
The presser one, the long one.
Just briefly go over last week, a lot of reports that you were going to stay in Tampa for a substantial pay raise. Then you changed your mind, decided to interview here. Could you talk a little bit about what made you change your mind? And was there any, in any way, any misgivings in your mind about changing your mind, not about pursuing a head coaching opportunity?
Thank you, Gene. Look, the opportunity to coach in Tampa was a phenomenal one, to get my feet wet in the NFL as the offensive coordinator, and I thank them so much for that opportunity. As you continue to do more research and gaining more information as you go, it started to become, more clear with every hour that this was an opportunity that you just can't pass up.
Wow.
For so many different reasons. And you ultimately want to do truly what's best for you and your family. And that's what this came down to. I will always love and remember those guys in Tampa. My players, those guys, love them to death. But this is an opportunity to also go and do it with some new guys, right? And to go reach and touch people, because that's what coaching and teaching is. And that's what this opportunity is all about. And extremely thankful for that. But head forward, head and eyes up, and we're moving forward.
Just to be clear, did this have anything to do with the change in the front office structure?
This was completely about an opportunity to work for an owner and
Avoid the question.
People with a group of players that needed some help. And that's what coaching is, right? That's what coaching is all about, is trying to go help people and be around people. So, no, that was not the factor.
Okay.
Huh.
That's a lie.
Just avoid the question altogether, right? I mean, that's
Which I mean, honestly,
I get it.
Yeah.
What are you going to say? Yeah, I wouldn't come in here until he was fired.
Yeah, everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. So there's no reason to acknowledge it and start a firestorm, right? So these are things. And again, so I know people in Tampa Bay are upset about the whole thing, and I know Jason Light's probably more upset than anybody, and that tells you all you need to know is because he wanted Liam Cohen here. They wanted to, as I've said many times, they wanted to keep the main chick and the side chick, but somebody came and got your side chick, and that's your fault. If you wanted to keep the side chick, you should have kept the side chick. Now, listen, you can say he's dishonest and disingenuous. You know, in the world of sports, things never end the way you want it to, right? John Lynch, we wanted him here forever. It didn't end well. Derek Brooks didn't end well. Tony Dungy didn't end well. I could go on and on. It's the world of professional sports. And these people are highly compensated. And when they leave or lose their jobs, they're going to be fine. But sometimes with fans, it's emotional. If you're running a good organization, it can't be emotional. It's got to be pragmatic. Who's the best man for the job? That's it. It should be a meritocracy. And the Bucs are pissed because, in my opinion, they probably wanted a chance to counteroffer, and they never got that chance. And maybe Jason Light assured some people that they could keep both of them, and he thought he could. And there was every reason to think he got that job done for 24 hours.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was impossible, I think impossible, for Jason Light to predict that Shad Khan was going to jump in the middle of this, in which it was what he did. It's why he fired Trent Baalke and said, I'm going to take this over. So he went after Liam Cohen with Tony Baselli as his confidant, who works for the team, works for sports radio there. So Baselli talked to Liam Cohen, and they all kind of, and Shad Khan got to the point where, listen, I'm going to hire this guy. And there was no way Jason Light could have predicted that he was going to fire Trent Baalke, number one, offer Liam Cohen the job, but not only offer him the job, but give him full control of who the general manager will be or significant say, and then offer him Ben Johnson $13 million a year, $60 million guaranteed.
Right.
I can tell you right now, Jason Light didn't see that coming because it's never been done before in the history of the NFL. Never. Honestly, I can't remember anything close. Except, I mean, you just don't, even especially in this day and age, you don't give one guy that much power, especially a guy who's never been a head coach, who a year ago was calling plays for Kentucky.
Yep.
Jason Light didn't see that coming. Nobody could have seen that coming. Nobody.
We'll see. You know, and all I can say about this, and I tell you what, JP, I'm going to rank the head coaching hires this season, and I will have that for us later in the week, just based on what I see.
Okay.
All of the new head coaches that have been hired, I'm going to rank them based on what I see and what I think. Everyone's going to hate them, but it's my list. Do your own effing list if you don't like it. And we'll get into those later in the week. But you know, you mentioned the best man for the job. Who freaking knows any of that? You don't. This job is unlike any other in the corporate world. Yep. You go based on resumes, you go based on experience, you go based on, college and all of that stuff. In NFL coaching, that's all out the window because a lot of it's more about philosophy. If you agree with the philosophy of this coach, of his offense or defense, with the players, the roster that you have, does it match up well with what he wants to do? There's so many other variables. It has absolutely nothing to do with experience, unfortunately, and earning your stripes anymore as a guy that, look at Brian Schottenheimer, and we'll talk a little bit about him later in the show, I'm sure, with the Cowboys. Yeah. 25-year lifetime assistant. This guy was tabbed as a lifetime assistant. He was never going to get a head coaching job.
Not a glamorous hire.
Yeah, but look where he came from. Look at his dad, one of the greatest NFL coaches ever to never win a Super Bowl. Yeah. And talk to any player that played for Marty Schottenheimer, and he was one of the most influential people in their life, not football life, in their life. That's right. Where Brian Schottenheimer came from. He should have all the credentials, all the skills, all the ability. We don't know. He's never done it before. No one's given him a shot.
We have no idea what Liam Cohen's going to do as a head coach.
Or
And I can sit here. I can sit here and say, Yeah, I wanted him to be the Bucs head coach. I don't know how good of a head coach he would be or will be. I think he'd have a better shot in Tampa than he does in Jacksonville, and that's not even arguable. Of course he would. I think he would be successful, but I don't know that. I don't know that. Maybe he is a duplicitous, slithering snake, and the players would see right through him, and he's inauthentic, and it would cause chaos. It might, or they'll rally around him. He'll spark the team. The offense will get better. They'll bring in a new defensive staff to bring some juice to that side of the ball. They'll get some new players on that side of the ball, and it will be much like the Bucs 2002 template when Gruden came in here, and they'd win a Super Bowl. I don't
Yeah.
know. That would be the hope. That sounds like it makes sense, but you don't know. Nobody knows. You take your best guess. And for Jason Light, you know, this was his best guess, and it didn't work out. So what? You move on.
Yeah.
You still got a bunch of great players. You still got great leadership. And by the way, Rick Stroud wrote a piece. He drove up to Jacksonville and got with Liam Cohen. And I thought the most interesting part of it, as I predicted, the players' reaction was, "Go get your bag, man. We're happy for you, Liam. Go get it." And the players aren't getting caught up in, "Oh, he didn't call him back for 24 hours and all this other stuff." It's a dirty business. It's a dirty business in the NFL, and it just, these things happen. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's how I play it, but it happens. And the bottom line is nobody's turning down that kind of money or that opportunity. And the Jacksonville Jaguars gave it to him, and the Bucs did not, and he took it. And that's the way that's the way the football world works. And if you're butthurt about it, I get it, but sorry, tough business. And that's the way it is. It's cutthroat.
Yep.
So you move on. Who's next? Who's the next OC? The Bucs have done a great job hiring OCs. Who's next? Is this offense going to be as good as it could have been in year two at Liam Cohen this year? I doubt it. I doubt it very seriously. But it can be good enough. Where your improvement needs to be, quite frankly, is on the defensive end, and special teams would be nice. Yeah, get a better punter. That would help. Better coverage units, better returns. That would help, and a better defense, especially one that can take the ball away. And the Bucs are in the bottom third of turnover percentage. You got to be better than that. You're not going to win anything like that. You got to get turnovers. You got to get stops. You got to get sacks. You got to get big plays. And they have done a terrible job of that this past year. And under Bowles, since he became a head coach, this defense has declined. It has regressed. So those are the things that need to be changed and will help this team the most. Offensively, they'll be fine. They won't be as good, but they'll be fine because learning a new system or learning a new coordinator or a new play caller, you just don't go from 32nd to third in rushing. Liam Cohen deserves his flowers for everything that he did, but he wasn't the only one doing it. There's plenty of talent on this team. It's a great young offensive line. You got a great quarterback. There's lots to work with. The guys that they've interviewed so far, I don't think any of these young guys who have no play calling experience are going to get the gig. They're all interesting hires, and they may be part of the staff or something in the future. I think the Bucs are taking advantage of this opening to find out a lot about what's new in football and what the Rams are doing and what the Vikings are doing and what some of these other coaches are doing. They're not just interviewing these guys. They're getting intel, and that's smart. That's really, really smart. Now, of these four guys that we've talked about, I don't think these guys are going to get the gig because I think some other guys, more experienced guys, are going to surface. I think Thad Lewis, the quarterback coach, is, in my mind, one of the we talked about him last year. He wasn't quite ready, but he is universally thought of as one of the bright young minds in football. I think he would be charged with keeping the same playbook and certainly learn from Liam Cohen about how to sequence plays and call plays. A lot of talk about Grizzard, the passing game coordinator, coordinated third downs. I would kind of put. I don't know if he's quite ready. He's never called plays. He seems really, really raw, smart guy. You want to keep him on, but Thad Lewis, I think, would be a guy that's probably in front of him in line. But I think a lot of this has to be sorted out. But I know this: the Bucs are going to come up with a very, very good candidate, a very good candidate. And I'll just say that what I said yesterday: I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked if they made a move at head coach as well. As Jeff Darlington put in his story, and I have told you many times, there are people in this organization that are not thrilled with Todd Bowles, and that he has been very close to being fired before. So, and again, I know this may sound disrespectful to Todd. It's a tough business. He's fine with it. He knows how it works. You got to get it done. And at this point, to me, this team with this roster has underperformed. So
we have the handsome and talented TJ with us if you would like to get his take on it.
100%. I want to get his take on a lot of things. Good morning to you, TJ Rives. How are you, my friend?
In this world of half-truths, BS, and lies, I don't know that either one of those things are true about me being handsome or talented, but thank you anyway, Timmy.
It's all that, baby.
It's good to be with you guys here today. Look, I can't add anything more to what you have said, what many others have said over the past week about this whole situation, really about the last 6 days, about this whole situation with Liam Cohen. I'm fascinated by all of it. Let's go at it from 2 or 3 different angles. You just said this a couple of minutes ago. If we could suddenly get 10 times the money doing what we're doing, we would all three and all of you watching would do that.
Yes.
Hands down.
Yes.
If you could get 10 times the money doing the same job and what you're doing, we would all do that.
And I might even tell a couple half-truths along the way.
Sure, probably.
I mean, I love you, JP, but when Good Morning Football calls me, I'm gone. Okay.
Especially offering you 10 times the money.
Yes.
Yes.
So we get that part. And again, I echo everything you've been saying and others have been saying. It's how it was done here.
Right.
How you handled yourself. The pure comedy of him standing and talking about honesty and looking yourself in the mirror and all,
later. Yes.
And all of that yesterday. Cringeworthy with that.
Worthy.
Big time.
Absolutely.
Big time.
Absolutely.
All right. So, and these are important factors here. He left the comfortable situation where he was going to succeed, guaranteed in the second year as the Buccaneer offensive coordinator to go grab this opportunity. And this is the truth for all the Jacksonville media guys that were dancing on the video that we saw or all of this.
Dan Hicken, we're talking about you.
Shad Khan is the losingest owner in the NFL since he bought the team in 2012. Shad Khan has fired 5 head coaches already.
Yes.
Now, they've had 3 winning seasons since he's been the owner. There is a very strong likelihood this is going to go bad for Liam Cohen, but he got paid. We'll see. We'll see if they are better. The chances are they're going to be more organized on offense. Brian Thomas is not Mike Evans. The Jaguar offensive line is not the Buccaneer offensive line. Trevor Lawrence has already been hurt now over the last couple of seasons. Who knows how it all works out? Anyway, he's gone.
And so, you know what? Who cares?
That's right.
All we care about is the Buccaneers.
He's gone
forward.
And so you just now laid out, what do they do at offensive coordinator? How does that work? As I often like to say here on the FanStream JP show, I do not have coffee and donuts with Jason Light and the Glazers. I did not have it again this morning.
Dang it.
But I can assure you they've been meeting since last Thursday on what do we do and how do we do it and with whom. And in Jason Light, we trust.
Absolutely.
Todd Bowles has a say-so in this.
Absolutely.
So stay tuned on what the Buccaneers come up with. Can I riff on one other thing? Because this was crazy last week.
Riff away.
Right, this was crazy last week. But JP, we live this. This is nowhere near the scale of what we did in 2001 and early 2002 with the end of Tony Dungy. Is Bill Parcells the coach? Okay, it's now not Bill Parcells. Who is the coach? That includes hiring Marvin Lewis for a little while and then unhiring Marvin Lewis, which is absolutely what happened.
100%.
To the point that Rich McKay basically left the building and said, "I'm done. I'm gone.
Yep.
All I have is my reputation and my word." We put something in front of Marvin Lewis and he agreed. He's in the process of hiring his staff and now we're going to unhire him. I'm leaving. And Rich McKay left. And then the Glazers went on an odyssey for like a month trying to find the head coach. The
Almost
Glazers
had Mariucci.
The
Almost had a deal with
Glazers,
Mariucci.
the Glazers had a deal with Steve Mariucci to be the coach GM. This is the truth. This is confirmed.
And
Mariucci.
and the word is they really wanted Gruden.
Well, and,
So what
maybe they were playing it.
And Al Davis was playing hardball with him. So
Right.
what they did was they went across the bay knowing that Al Davis hates the 49ers with a passion. It was no way I'm going to let them give all those draft picks and money for Mariucci. Here, take Gruden. It was a masterful,
so
masterful game of chess by Malcolm.
Maybe you want to, but then you end up with not only not hiring Steve Mariucci that night. I still remember this. All right. We went to bed on that Sunday night, and you had been doing the Sunday night sports show talking about that they are interviewing Steve Mariucci and likely offering him the GM head coach job. We go to bed. I wake up to do the morning show, 5-day-a-week sports radio show here in Tampa Bay the next morning, and it's everywhere all of a sudden that it's John Gruden. The reports are out that it's John Gruden from in the middle of the night. As crazy as anything you could imagine, that came. And then you find out it's 2 number ones, 2 number twos, and $8 million in a trade in the middle of the night. Gruden, this is the truth. Gruden had been at the Golden State Warriors basketball game. He comes home and he thinks it's a prank. When Bob Lamont, his agent, is calling him, he thinks he's pranking him and he hangs up on him. And all of this went on in the middle of the night, including John Gruden and Cindy Gruden. This has confirmed the truth. Have to get out the Christmas gift fax machine that they've never used before out of the box and learn how to use the fax machine. Because the contract offer, the MOU, the memo of understanding, is going to come over the fax machine in the middle of the night to their house. And they are literally sitting in the living room with the box open and the instructions out. Gruden confirmed this on the fax machine. And sure enough, a contract offer, the boilerplate, here's the job, here's the responsibility, comes on stationery of the Beverly Wilshire Hotel. Gruden still has the stationery that it came on, signed by Joel Glazer on a fax machine that they had never opened before.
Was it the curly paper fax machine or was it the plain paper fax machine?
It could be the old, the sheen on it and it would roll up and curl. Remember that?
Of course,
Okay. I say all of that diatribe to say, that was, JP, back me up. That was 10 times crazier than last Wednesday and Thursday.
You want to talk about people ghosting each other and telling lies and all this other stuff.
I might have mentioned it involved
standard operating procedure.
Yes, but it might have involved Tony Dungy, Hall of Fame, Bill Parcells, Hall of Fame, Steve Mariucci, big-time NFL coach, and John Gruden, eventual Super Bowl winning coach. They're all involved.
Right.
And Marvin Lewis, by the way, is involved. And it's
Rick
laid out.
And the Glazers. I mean, this is the who's who of the NFL.
Yes, and this played out over like 8 weeks, JP, not 2 days.
Yeah, I know.
Like late December until February, as you remember. Yes.
And it sounds like the Cowboy saga that we lived through in the early 90s when Jerry and Jimmy got divorced.
And the next day, we're doing we're going live from the press conference at what is now the Waterside Marriott, I believe.
Right.
And John Gruden's up there talking about Mark Allstott. I love Mark Allstott.
Right. And we're looking around going, he doesn't know that it's Mike Allstott. It's okay.
It's okay. It'll be fun.
And I'm looking forward to facing the North Carolina Panthers and, the different things that he was saying because he was coming from the West. It was
probably had about an hour's sleep.
I mean, it was a bizarre time during all of that for 7 or 8 weeks.
And I remember Gail Sarans asking me, at the end of the press conference, she goes, but 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks and $8 million, is John Gruden worth that? And I said, nope, unless he wins a Super Bowl.
Correct.
Unless he wins a Super Bowl.
And anything
short of a Super Bowl,
sure,
and it's not worth it. Because
and could you have ever scripted 11 months later he would be winning that Super Bowl against his old team, the then Oakland Raiders?
Yeah, nobody
would. Crazy
with Bill
surreal.
Callahan as their head coach.
Yeah. Crazy.
So the lesson here is we think we know that Liam Cohen's going to fail. We don't know. We
Well,
think
right.
we know that
Right.
the Bucs will be okay. We don't know.
Right.
We think we know a lot of things. We don't know shit.
Well,
know
this is why you got to stay tuned. And this is why
That's why it's the greatest. It's
Yes.
the greatest sport in the world. You know, I hate the NFL, man. It's so full of twists and turns. These script writers are working overtime,
Yeah.
and they're getting it good. So,
But-
I mean, anyway, so
there's a
as we
little
move
reference
forward,
point.
one of the things I wanted to ask you, I was just
Yeah.
speaking of Thad Lewis,
Yes.
who was one of the internal candidates. I've spoken with him a couple times in these scrums. I don't know him very well, but what I've seen of him and what I hear of him is very impressive. He played for a lot of different teams. He played for Duke. He's a super smart guy. He knows a lot of the language. The players love him. He's got a great relationship, obviously, as the quarterback's coach with Baker Mayfield. To me, he's the leader in the clubhouse. But I don't know shit.
I don't have the intel that tells you that he is the leader in the clubhouse, but he's got to be a strong.
I'm
He's got
just
to be
asking you about him.
He's got to be a strong candidate. I'm with you. I'm on board with continuity of keep, generally speaking, the same offense, the same terminology. You're going to have to change some of the code words and the signals because then Liam Cohen puts it out there and everybody else puts it out there on what you're doing. But you always have to change that stuff anyway.
Right.
It would not be the worst thing in the world. This is me saying this, my opinion, to keep the continuity. You get with Baker Mayfield and you say, let's construct what we liked from 2024 and what we want to improve on, keeping the same scheme, keeping the same continuity here would not be the worst thing in the world. I don't know what they're going to do. But they have been grooming Thad Lewis the same way that Byron Leftwich was groomed, whatever you think about that, as the quarterback coach and then eventually the play caller. He's been around as the quarterback coach over the course of the last 3 years or so. And sooner or later, you got to find out, can he call plays? Can he get it done? Good, bad, or indifferent, offensive side of the ball or defensive side of the ball. And this may be the perfect opportunity. You would have to, I'm talking about just in general, you would have to be really, really bad at it to screw up what the Bucs already have in place with the players they had. Back to your point, Bill Callahan and Mark Trestman in 2002 kept what John Gruden was doing in place. The scheme, the play calls, and it worked all the way up until the anniversary, which just a couple of days ago, January 26th of 2003, when Gruden knew the scheme and knew the code words and knew the hand signals, and they hadn't changed any of it.
Right.
But that Raider point is an interesting point. They kept the continuity that year, and they were like number one in the NFL in offense.
They were number one
without
offense.
without him there. So
MVP.
let's see what they end up doing with Thad Lewis or with one of these outside hires. Again, they don't consult me, but I have to believe that part of the hiring process is you're keeping this theme, this scheme, and a lot of what we liked and a lot of what we won with. The blocking scheme, the motion, the different things that we were doing. Why would you change that after what we saw? Why would you let anybody come in and want to change that and put a different imprint on it when you could go backwards from doing that?
Exactly.
Please.
And look, when you look at Thad Lewis, look, he only played 2 years in the league with significant playing time. He floated around a little bit after that, never really started or was a significant backup. But the 2 years that he actually played in the league, 2012 in Cleveland, 2013 in Buffalo, his 2 offensive coordinators in those 2 years, Brad Childress in Cleveland, pretty good offensive mind, and Nathaniel Hackett in Buffalo, pretty good offensive mind. So I kind of like where he comes from. I know he floated around a bit after that, but I guarantee you he didn't have anything to do with any of the offense or anything. And then he's been in Tampa since 2020, correct? Like he's been there 4 or 5 years. So
yes,
I like where he's coming from. I like what he's soaked in since then. So
and he's had a ringside seat for Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan, Rashad White, Bucky Irving, offensive line just in the last couple of years. I'm talking about Baker Mayfield and all of this the last couple of years. You could do a lot worse on that. So stay tuned. Again, you came up with Dave Canales and the offense improved, and then you came up with Liam Cohen and the offense really improved. back to Liam Cohen. Did he say he's looking forward to putting roots down and being somewhere for a while in Jacksonville? Said the same thing in Kentucky 2 years ago, by the way.
In Tampa, too.
Yeah, we had a
Tampa as
discussion
well.
about how he's jumped from job to he's a job jumper is what he
Yeah.
is. So,
Well,
yeah.
And so, but I mean, he's cashed in.
If I were him, I'd rent, not buy. I'd rent. No.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
By
again,
the way, I totally forgot about this, but it was part of the questions yesterday. Next year, they're at limited capacity for stadium construction, like 26,000. And the year after that, they have no home games. Have they decided where they're going to play?
They're going to play in the rumors are they're going to play in Gainesville. They're going to play in Orlando. Maybe they'll play 4 games in England. They already played 2 in England. Maybe they'll play 4 in England. Who knows? But
not exactly a recipe for stability and success. Let's just put it that way.
Especially if you start losing and we have a new stadium looming and you're no longer the flavor of the month.
Right.
We'll
Which
see.
happens fast in this league.
Of course it does.
And it
of course,
a lot
and you
in
make a great point. And by the way, I got to go here in a second or two. But by the way, I am the first one to come in here, unlike most that hide and run from wrong opinions. I did not have any belief that the LA Rams knew what they were doing with Sean McVay, who had never been a head coach anywhere and had only been a coordinator for 1 season for Jay Gruden in Washington. Obviously, they knew more about what McVay could do and be a leader of men than what we knew. And he grew into that position, and he's one of the premier coaches in the NFL. I was wrong about that one. And look at the tree of Gruden's coordinators that have gone on to be head coaches, etc. Sooner or later, the point is you got to give a guy an opportunity to go call the plays and or be the coach to find out. You mentioned Nathaniel Hackett. He was terrible as a head coach in Denver, and they fired him inside of the first season. You don't know until you try this. Houston tried it with DeMeco Ryans, and they immediately made the playoffs his first year as the coach with a rookie quarterback. So we got reference points good. We got reference points good and bad all over the NFL.
It depends on the man. Let's just be honest. Everybody's been trying to replicate the Sean McVay hire ever since. There have been some hits. Kevin O'Connell, Matt LaFleur. There have been some duds. Yeah. So, but they're all trying to do the same thing. Liam Cohen's the next guy in the tree. We'll see. But
all I know is in Jason Light, we trust. Come up with a new coordinator, whomever it is. I'm going to roll with 6 and with 13 and number 7, Bucky, and number 1, Rashad White. And I'm going to leave my numbers out. 15, McMillan, 14, Godwin, 88, Otten, 87, Durham, that offensive line. I'll roll with those guys. Even if Tim Ham's calling the plays, I got confidence in you, Timmy. If you got to come call the plays, I got confidence in you, brother.
That's a language I do not understand.
You know what you should practice is
XY banana.
Yes, Spider 2Y banana. What you should practice is Baker. What do you think? That would be a great offensive play caller's
Baker,
philosophy.
Whatever you want.
Hey
man.
Baker, what do you think here? Hey Baker, what do you like
talk
here?
Some college football on your show there.
College hoops on BetUS coming up. College hoops on BetUS coming up. You have me back whenever you need me as developments warrant. Free agency. We'll talk some college basketball on your show.
Texas Tech finally cracked the AP top 25 this week. Look out for Tech in the Big 12.
You got the Big 12 going. You got the SEC Godzilla conference going. Do you realize there are 7 teams ranked right now in the top 20? 7 SEC teams ranked in the top 20.
Florida's good.
Florida's
really good.
Look out. Good to be with you, boys. Hang in there.
You, TJ.
Have me back soon. We'll see you, my friends.
Sideline guy. All right.
Thanks, TJ.
I think continuity is king in this league. Dad Lewis is well respected in that he got some OC looks last year. I think he's a great pick. Again,
where better for him to start his OC career than in Tampa.
Now there are other people out there that have called plays in this league that have been successful. Some that have been fired, but doesn't mean they're not good coordinators. Sometimes you run out of players, and it's hard to call plays when you got no offensive line. It looks really bad, right?
Yeah.
So there are others. I think Cliff Kingsbury is a very interesting name. It's a very interesting name.
I don't.
He was there at Texas Tech. But isn't there some history with Baker and Cliff?
Yeah, they were at Tech together.
Yeah. So it didn't end well, correct?
On Baker's part. Well, Baker lost the starting job to Patrick Mahomes, and he didn't like that, so he transferred to Oklahoma.
So maybe there's not bad blood between the
I don't
two.
think it's bad blood. No,
Yeah. I mean, that's if you're going to lose your job.
it's just the business of part of it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and he was a walk-on at Tech. It's not like he was recruited or anything like
Right.
that. He was a walk-on at Tech, and he lost to a guy that they heavily recruited who was
Turned
better
out
than
to
him.
be okay.
Yeah, he's a little bit better than him. About to play in his 5th Super Bowl. He's not even 30 yet. So
He's so good. He's so good. I was watching some of the highlights of the game and just marveling. And that's where I'm going to be the next 2 weeks. I'm not going to be in there. I'm tired of watching Pat Mahomes. You know why? Because I'm not.
no,
I'm
not at all.
You know, do I have a soft spot for? No, I don't have a soft spot. For
Gotta
the
hope
Eagles
they
at all.
roll the Eagles.
I like Saquon Barkley because he got me at least second place in my fantasy team this year. So I got a little affinity for him, and I like him as a dude.
Where would that team be without Saquon Barkley, by the way, the Eagles? They'd be the Giants.
Did you see? I don't know if this was on purpose, but did you see on Sunday night they lit up the Empire State Building
In New
Philadelphia
York.
Eagle green?
Yes, that's so stupid. I hate you, New York. I
Wh-
already
whose idea-
hated you. I hate you even more
Whose
now.
idea was that?
Somebody should have got fired.
Somebody played a prank.
Somebody
The
needs
dude
to
that
get
takes care of
fired.
the colors on the Empire State Building is an Eagles fan.
So
Who knew?
stupid.
Who knew?
Idiots. I guarantee you, look, we have buildings in downtown Dallas that we can do that too, also. You know,
Yeah.
that we can put the whatever colors. That would never happen in Dallas. For Troy Aikman could be quarterback of the Eagles and go into the Super Bowl, and we would never put stupid Eagles green on our buildings in downtown Dallas. It would never happen.
You're a Giants fan walking around?
Oh, F that, man. F
What is that? Is that Eagle green on my Empire State Building? Oh, my God.
We got
All right,
Brian
well, thank-
Bradley up on deck if we're going to take a break or whatever we need to do.
Yeah, we got to take a break. Is he on the – is he in the
he's
house?
he's in the room ready to go.
All right. Do we need to take a break or just hit him?
Well, we haven't taken one yet, so whatever you want to do.
Let's take a quick break. Jeeves Law Group, we love you. If you get in an accident, you know the JEEVES lawgroup.com. Those are the folks you got to call. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Back in 2 and Change with the great Brian Bradley, live from Morning Skate. Stay with us.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Old Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here as we roll on. We got hockey tonight as the Tampa Bay Lightning in a bit of a January slog right now. 16 games in 29 days is starting to take its toll, but they're back home tonight against Chicago, team they had to come back and beat last week. So let's head on out to Morning Skate where our good friend Brian Bradley, newly minted Lightning Hall of Famer, joins us. What's up, Brian? How are you, my friend?
Hey, JP, how are you guys today? Everything
We
good?
are great. I can't see him.
I don't know why we can't. I don't know why we can't see him. I got him pulled up. Wait a minute. Let's wait.
Hold on. There he is. Handsome lad that he is. How are you, partner?
Good, JP. How are you guys doing today? Everything good?
Oh, can't wait to see some home hockey tonight. The boys have been on the road a long time. How are they looking this morning?
Yeah, they're doing pretty good right now. They're just doing the morning skate right now. It's an optional skate. Here's the thing. I'm showing you the optional skate right now. The guys are on the ice right now for the morning skate. All the defensemen are their headmen. The only guy that's not on the ice, guys, Vazzy was not on the ice, and Johansson was in net. So to me,
Wow.
that means that Vazzy might be out tonight, and I think they're going to go with Johansson because we're playing Chicago. But I'm not sure. But everybody else is skating right now. J.J. Moser's on the ice. All the different guys, Point, Kucherov, everybody's out there on the ice skating. But Vasilevsky did not come on the ice, so I'm not sure if he's in tonight. And if not, I think maybe Johansson's in tonight. So I don't know. We'll see. But this is like you guys talked about. This is a big 5-game homestand tonight, starting with Chicago. This is a must-win, in my opinion, guys. I mean, you're playing the Blackhawks, Connor Bedard, Pat Maroon. I mean, we love Pat Maroon. He's, two Stanley Cups here, but they're not going to make the playoffs. We've got a really good team, and we're in the last playoff spot right now. We're in 8th seed, so we still have 4 games in hand, but 4 games doesn't mean anything unless you win the games, guys.
Right.
So
Right.
we got to win these games. So, I mean, look at your schedule right now. We play Chicago tonight. We play LA on Thursday, Saturday the Islanders, and then next week's big because in 3rd place right now we play 2 home games back-to-back against Ottawa. We need to win 5 of these games. 4 to 5 I can accept. Anything less than 4 to 5 is unacceptable.
The Blackhawks have lost 3 in a row. They've lost 7 of 8. I get the impression this very easily could be a trap game at home for the Lightning. What do they have to do to avoid this? They need all the momentum they can get right now, especially when they get into some more division play because they're way behind everybody. What do they have to do to avoid this being a trap game, Brian?
Well, they just got to go out there and play their game. I mean, even Detroit on Sunday, guys, I watched the game. Chicago was a good comeback win. I thought against Chicago we played average until the last maybe period and a half. The guys turned it up to a different level. But tonight's game, we have to be ready to rock and roll. I mean, you know what? Detroit, I thought we played well. We lost 2-0 to Detroit, got shut out. But, I mean, I thought we were the better team in the game. The shots on goal were lopsided in our favor, but it didn't happen. Their goalie played really well. We missed, Cirelli, Hedman. A couple guys missed empty net goals. I mean, they should have been in. But at the end of the day, we're at home now. The guys have been back since Saturday night late. It's Tuesday. They're not going on the road for another, week and a half. So they're going to be here. They got their family. The weather's nice. So you know what? They need to step up their game and get ready to go against Chicago tonight. I'm expecting a big game tonight. They just got to keep playing the way they are. So we need to come out here and, throw a 5-6-1 win against Chicago tonight.
Love it. Brian, when I watched the road trip, I thought the Lightning played well. And Julien Brisebois yesterday in his midseason media availability basically pointed out what we've been talking about. You look at the Lightning are the highest scoring team in the league. Goals against, I think they're 9th. Power play is 3rd in the league. Penalty kill is 9th in the league. 5-on-5 play is very good. All these metrics tell us that the Lightning should probably be in 2nd or 3rd place, but they're not. So I'm not panicking, but from what I saw, especially on the road trip, they just can't finish right now. I mean, you scored a gazillion goals in your career. There goes through times where you miss empty nets. It seems everybody's missing empty nets at the same time, and they're getting chances. They're just not finishing. So
Yeah.
maybe a good 6-goal game against Chicago is exactly what they need tonight.
I agree, JP. I think all your points are valid. I mean, you know what? I think they've been playing well. I agree with Julian Breezeball. You know, obviously the general manager does a fantastic job each and every year, putting a great team on the ice for us to watch. But I mean, I thought halfway through Chicago they played outstanding, and then against Detroit we were the better team. Should have won the game. The goalie played well, but you know, at the end of the day, Vazzy kept us in. But it wasn't really Vazzy really just had to make a few saves. Their goalie was outstanding. And, you know, I think we made him look better than what he really is. That's the key. I don't think he played great. We made him look great. And, I mean, we could have won that game easily 4-5-2. So, you know what? It's over with. It's history. We got to look forward to Chicago tonight and can't get too far ahead with Los Angeles or the Islanders. They're all big games. And obviously Ottawa next week with the back-to-back at home. But tonight's game's big. We got to start, get our game. We got to play like we did on the road, get some guys scoring goals, get the fans involved, get everybody, ready to rock and roll. But like I said, I think we can win 5 of these games on the road. 4-5, I'll be happy with. Anything less than 4-5. 3-5 is unacceptable at this time of year.
Mm-hmm. Brian, Emil Lilleberg suspended 2 games for a hit on JT Compher. I gotta say, I think it's the right call. He was a little late on the hit. It was a high hit. If it was a Lightning player, we'd be saying the same thing. So, but he's young. I love his aggressiveness. I love the fact that he'll drop the gloves whenever. So I think it's a good decision. But how does this fit tonight as far as the defenseman? How much will we miss Lilleberg for 2 games?
Oh, yeah, Lilleberg's played outstanding. I think he's been a really solid addition. Stay-at-home defense. He's not going to put up points like Hedman. I don't know about J.J. Moser. He's on the ice skating, but I don't think he's ready to go right now.
No.
I don't know if Crozier's up here right now because I really didn't see who we have in the lineup. But, I mean, obviously he'll be missed. I mean, the league did probably make the right call, JP, like you talked about. At the end of the day, got to be held accountable for. I mean, you look at Connor McDavid from Edmonton Oilers. He got suspended 3 games for a cross-check to Connor Garland in Vancouver, and it was the right call. I mean, he cross-checked him across the face, and he deserved a 2 or 3 game suspension. So if the star player in the NHL like Connor McDavid can get suspended, then everybody can get suspended.
Brian Bradley joining us from the Morning Skate. Hey, getting back to going into goal droughts. Did you ever do anything in your career, any superstitions when you were in a drought or missing nets to get, did you ever like kill a live chicken or sacrifice a duck or anything like that? Like,
Whack.
What did you do when you were in a slump?
I usually just went out and played 36 holes of golf the next day.
There you go.
Yeah. No, you know what? Everybody's different, JP. I mean, you know what? Everybody, it doesn't matter when you play professional sports, everybody has a little OCD in them. Guys are superstitious. They might tape their stick from white to black, black to white. They might use a different stick. They might change their skates. They might change their gloves. They might put something in their gloves. They might have a pregame meal, which they usually have chicken and pasta. Maybe they change it up. They'll do whatever they can. And if they score 2 goals in that game, 110,000% they're doing the same thing in that game.
What's the craziest thing you ever seen a guy do?
I mean, the goalies are the worst, like Darren Poopa and different guys like that. I played with over my career, Mike Vernon in Calgary and, Kirk McLean. The goalies are superstitious. They're like, some guys that would go sit in the back room. I've seen guys go sit in back rooms with the lights off with a towel over their head, just like meditating. I mean, I don't know, what are they praying or what back there? But it's crazy what guys will do when things aren't going well. They're superstitious big time. And I think that's not only in hockey. I think it's all sports.
Oh, yeah.
Football, baseball, basketball. Yeah. I mean, everybody has their own little craziness they do.
Yeah, absolutely. Brian Bradley joining us here. So we got Chicago tonight, the Kings coming up on Thursday. Just your thoughts on and is there any one part of the Lightning's game right now that they got to be better at? I've been a little upset defensively that they're leaving guys wide open in the middle of the ice. You'll have 5 guys below the circle, and then some guy comes down the middle. We saw that against Montreal. What is it that they got to do better defensively to avoid those lapses?
Well, they just got to know their positional play. I mean, I agree with some of your points, JT, because, I think a couple of times they've been caught with no one in front of the net. I
Right.
mean, if you see your defense partner and he's in the corner, we don't need 2 defensemen in there. Centerman should be backing up. So, and if the centerman does see 2 defensemen in there, someone has to get in front of the net. I think sometimes we get caught and we left guys wide open. And when you do that, the goalie has no chance. The puck moves so fast, it's in the net. So, I mean, we've broken down a few different times in the last few games. But you know what? It's a long season, an 82-game schedule. It's a long time. So at the end of the day, I think this homestand is what we needed. Everybody's back at home. They've had their families for the last 2-3 days, and we're not going on the road till the following Friday. So we're here for a long time.
Right.
So we need these points. We need to get ready to rock and roll.
All right, Brad. It's great stuff as always, my friend. I'll see you tonight in the club.
Okay. Hey, I got to ask you this question now that I'm on the camera. Who do you guys taking for the Super Bowl? Because I'm going with Philadelphia.
No.
No. What do you mean no?
No.
Tell someone beat KC, you can't do it.
I hate Philadelphia.
I'm not against Patrick Mahomes at this point and the refs. You got Patrick Mahomes and the refs going against Philadelphia, and I'm sorry, as much as I like Barkley, I can't root for anything Philadelphia. Those fans are just the worst humans on earth.
Question. In the Buffalo Bills game on Saturday, I want to ask you these 2 questions, and I haven't been listening at all.
Okay,
when Josh
all right.
Allen ran the ball and he got to the 50-yard line, how did he not get that 4th down call? Like
It's called Taylor. It's called the Tay rules.
It's just bad officiating. That's all it is.
If someone on your team is dating Taylor Swift, you get all the calls. So
well,
it's called the Tay rule.
Josh Allen should have got that call. He was definitely right on the line.
Everybody in the world saw his entire torso over the line, except the one ref on the.
What about the Worthy call in the end zone where Kansas City guy? Now, was that an interception or was that
it was an incomplete pass.
Who had the ball?
What they decided was the least of the options. It was either an incomplete pass, it was an interception.
I think it was a catch.
It was
a catch. The ball can hit the ground. It didn't move when it hit the ground. He had control of the ball when it hit the ground. I think it was the right call. That's what I think.
So if 2 people have possession of the ball and it hits the ground, who has possession of it?
The offensive player. The tie always goes to the offense, just like the tie goes to the runner in baseball. It's always the offensive player that gets the ball in that situation.
Not if it's on the ground.
It wasn't on the ground. It just touched the ground.
I'll explain it to you later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it tonight. Hey, all I'm going to say is go Eagles. Go Bucs. Go Eagles. Good night, guys.
Go Chiefs. Bye. Go Chiefs. All right. Thank you, Brian Bradley. Rooting for the Eagles. Oh, my God.
I'm going to vomit a little bit. Hey, JP, so nobody knows this about me. We were talking about scoring slumps. So my beer league ice hockey career ended in 1997 with me on a 22-game goal-scoring slump. And I just said, screw it, I quit.
Yes, I think that was a good call on your part. Because I can only imagine what your slump buster would have been like. I can only imagine.
Well, it never worked because I tried it after every game. But
all right, enough of that shenanigans. We'll take a break. Yes. We'll come back on the other side. We got the best soundbite from Liam Cohen yesterday that you've got to hear. Junior Camanero's celebration last night was one for the ages in the Dominican League. And we got to hear from Jerry Jones in the most bizarre stuff you've ever. This second hour is going to be awesome, dude. It's going to be.
Y'all think you have it bad in Tampa? You ought to be in Dallas. All I'm saying.
All right. We're brought to you by Italiano Insurance, folks. Don't forget to do that Italiano Insurance checkup where they do all the work. You save all the money. Just give them a call, 813-877-7799. They'll shop around your homeowner's insurance, your auto insurance, your business insurance, all of that. They'll find you cheaper rates, could save you hundreds or thousands of dollars. 813-877-7799, the best customer service anywhere. Italiano Insurance. Back in 3.
Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com. Hey guys, why not kick off 2025 by popping the question? Yes, and you know where to get that perfect engagement ring. It's the Gold and Diamond Source. The best prices, the best quality, and yes, get her a real diamond. You don't want to go with the fake stuff. And January's birthstone is garnet for all you FSU fans, right? Get 15% off all the unforgettable garnet jewelry at the Gold and Diamond Source. Also, discover Emilique by Emily Johnson Weintraub, a sleek and modern day gifts extraordinary. And don't forget, you have any unused gold? Turn it into cash or a stunning new piece. With gold prices soaring, there's no better time to trade up. You can do it all at the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops? Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent-rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center and Chris Lugo's Concierge Service. If you need a new primary care or need someone to be your advocate instead of your insurance company, because guess what? They don't care about your health. All they care about is making money. So put someone in charge of your health who will spend time with you, go over your blood work, develop a personal nutrition plan, a personal workout plan, a personal health plan to keep your immune system up in these dangerous times. There's a lot of crap going around. You want to be prepared. And Chris Lugo will help you with all of that with his concierge medicine service. Go ahead and give him a call. Go to BAMMC.com, set up a free consultation, and find out how it all works with concierge medicine. It's the only way to go in these days, in my opinion. I do it. He's great. It's awesome. Just call him up and he'll send something into the pharmacy that you may or may not need at that particular time. So BAMMC.com is the way to go. All right, my friend.
JP, do I have to live in Florida or over by him to give him a call or set up an appointment and then for him to help me out like over the teledoc thing?
Yes. No, you do not need. He can do it from anywhere. Telemedicine's a beautiful thing these days because you can get vital signs with, I don't know about you, but we have oxygen meter here. We have certain things that we can hook up to your phone. Yeah. And he can get your vital signs. You get your blood work done. You send it to him. He gets it. They'll send it to him. And then he'll go over that with you over a screen. It's not like, the old days where they got to, bend over. They don't need to do that anymore.
I miss those days.
I bet you do.
Hey, what'd you find up there this time?
Using a whole fist there, Doc?
I hope that's your hand.
Great line from Fletch. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, no, you don't need to. So telemedicine's a great way to go. But what you need is an advocate. You need an advocate that's looking after you because seriously, these insurance companies are just like get them in, write them a script, get them out. That's it. They're not asking about your sleep, what you're eating, what you're doing. It's just not the way it is anymore, unfortunately. So you need someone in your corner to let you know what's really going on and set up your healthcare. And can work in conjunction with your insurance, send you to specialists, and there are lots of things that Chris can do for you. If one of the things we've had him talk about on the show is stem cells and going other places in Costa Rica and other places. He works with patients to get that done as well. So there's a lot of different things that he can do. And the old Western style of medicine that you grew up with, I grew up with, where you had a doctor that actually cared about you.
Yeah.
Those days are over. And that's why you need somebody like Chris Lugo, as your advocate and someone that you can just text or call anytime if there's something going on, and maybe you can nip it in the bud, and that's important. It's important. I mean, you call up now and try to get an appointment. Yeah, well, we've got something in March for you. It's like, yeah, no thanks. I'll be dead by then, but we appreciate it.
Yeah, I had to schedule a dermatologist appointment for my son. He's got like a weird thing going on. Sorry, Eli, I just called you out on the air. Like on his elbow. I think it's like some sort of psoriasis or whatever. So I don't really have a family dermatologist, obviously, because I clearly have perfect skin. Everything about me is wonderful. But I did get a recommendation from another family member, gave them a call. I have this thing going on with my 16-year-old kid. And they were like, well, our first available appointment is the first week of April. And I said, what if I need something before that? Well, that's the soonest we can get you in. I said, well, can I do a telehealth visit, or can I just take a picture of it and send it to you? And we'll see you in April.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's not okay.
No,
it's just not okay in any world. And
I
you
don't know
got
what to do.
Now I guess you could take him into urgent care.
Yeah.
If it's covered.
Cost me $500.
Yeah. Crazy. You want to do a little comments before we get to Jera?
Let's do some comments.
All right. You'll have to put them up though, because I'm limited here.
We're used to that, JP. It's fine. We got you.
Yeah, exactly. Bucs Basement at 10:03 says, my favorite part from the press conference was Cohen saying how much he values honesty. I guess much like a cheap whore, he doesn't think honesty goes both ways. Tell your man the Jags married a whore. Do we want to play the honesty clip right here? Can you do it now that I know we went the comments, but
yeah, let's do it. And that's the one, him by himself, right?
Yeah.
That's really what this is going to come down to, is honesty. I want to surround ourselves with people that are going to be able to tell you hard truths, be able to show you your blind spots, because that's really, like I mentioned, where growth occurs, when you can truly be yourself and be honest with looking in the mirror, knowing that the process to get you there was clean and it was right, and the results will speak for themselves.
The process was clean and it was right.
Wow.
Now, listen, I know what he's talking about. He's talking about how you run your organization, and I agree with all that. But just juxtaposed to what you just did.
Dude, he just made himself look so ridiculous. Yeah, Christopher Cole says, I watched the presser on YouTube, and Bucs fans were spamming the comments with the snake and laughing emojis.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
John Hill, by the way, John, I do always get all of the things that you send me on Facebook Messenger. I just don't always have time to reply, but thank you very much for sending me your comedy things on Facebook Messenger. But he says, Rays have 5 players in the top 100 prospect list. Highest is number 9, a shortstop. So maybe a bright
Carson
future
Williams.
there.
Yeah, that's good. Xavier Isaac, Carson Williams, they've got some great players in the pipeline, but they're not ready yet. These hitters are not ready yet, and that's why you got to go get experienced hitters to pair with this amazing pitching staff you're going to have. Anybody in baseball would do the same thing unless you're the ridiculous Rays. But they did bring back Taylor Walls, a 180 hitter.
Yeah, there you go. Bucs Basement says, by the way, it's pretty much confirmed at this point he lied about the kid, especially since Bucs and Jags fans tracked Khan's private jet he used to get Cohen and that was at like 10 a.m. So he spent the whole day in Jacksonville, not with his kid and the doctor, which means the dude is a scumbag. I wish nothing but the worst for him, which, hey, he's the coach of the Jaguars. It doesn't get worse than that.
Yeah, but, at this point, who cares, guys?
Doesn't matter
Who
anymore.
Cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
If he's in Jacksonville now, however it happened, and he's not in Tampa, that's all that matters. And we're moving on. So
just like we did with Canales.
Moan, months and cry and whatever. It's over. Who cares?
But it's okay to wish. It's okay to wish failure too. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Oh yeah, fine.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, that's fine. No,
Our first offering from Rick this morning. Hello, Rick. Is Stu working the intersection of Del Mabry and Kennedy asking for donations? We'll build a skate park with donations and a stadium.
So this is a good friend of mine who does business and has money in St. Petersburg. He told me, he said, yeah, the Rays are sending their little minions out to people like him and with a little package, a little investment package. And I think they're promising 20% return on the investment. And I'm like, so is anybody who wants to get in business with this dude and give him money? He's like, nobody. Nobody. Like, it all sounds good, but he's like coming from that dude, like, yeah, that's not worth what the print. So it's interesting to me that they're doing their little thing, trying to get money, and I don't even know what that's about. He's not going to go through with the stadium. Maybe he thinks if we can hoodwink another 25 people into giving him, a few $million, he can get it done. But like, really, who wants to do business with that guy?
Nobody cares. Yeah, nobody cares. Lewis Chesney, screw 1010 XL.
Why? Come on, Rick Ballou's my man at 1010 XL. Why are you mad at that station? Because they're being a homer for their guy?
Are they bad-mouthing the Bucs? Maybe they're bad-mouthing the Bucs over there. I don't know. I haven't listened.
I think they're bad. They're probably bad-mouthing fans that are whining about how it got done.
It's fair. I mean, and that's fair for them to do. We'd be doing the same thing in Tampa up there if the roles were reversed.
Which is great. Let's get a rivalry going. Not that we play them all the time.
It's not even in conference. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, we play them in the preseason. We've done that before. I'll be interested to see if we do that, continue to do that. I hope we do.
How crazy would that be, having a preseason,
what
off-season scrimmage?
What you fans ought to know is interesting thing that Rick Stroud wrote, because he, and Liam told him this, and I believe it to be true. And I believe when, we talked to Baker or Mike Evans at the Pro Bowl, by the way, Mike's at the Pro Bowl. Congratulations. We talked to them this week at the Pro Bowl and asked them, I'm sure they're going to be like, hey, man, we're happy for him. Good for him. He got his money secured for his family. That's what these guys think about. This is what these guys think about. Oh, but what about the way he went about it? He's like, I'm sure Baker will be like, I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything,
And he doesn't care.
He doesn't care. They don't know. They don't care. It's just, and frankly, you guys shouldn't either, because he's not our problem anymore.
And you know what? Even if it had gone down like Cohen and Baker had a conversation and Cohen said, dude, I ain't leaving. We're going to do this. We're going to run it back next year between me and you. I ain't going anywhere. And then he pulls this, Baker still wouldn't say anything. He might be a little hurt on the inside, but he wouldn't say anything.
But here's the deal. Like, I don't think it's cool to ghost your employer. I know that part was wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. He said yes to the Bucs when he already had talked to Jacksonville, and they said they weren't firing Trent Baalke. And he said, yeah, I'm not interested in doing that. I'm just not, as Ben Johnson did, as others did. No one wanted to work with Trent Baalke, and Shad Khan could sit up there and not answer the question about firing Baalke, why he did it. Was it about? Of course, don't be an idiot. Of course, that's why he fired him, because he couldn't get the best candidates, and Leon Combs was one of them. So he impressed. The deal changed. It went from, hey, we're interested in you. You're one of our candidates. And him saying, man, I don't really want to work with Baalke, to, hey, we'll get rid of Baalke. We'll give you $13 million a year, $60 million guaranteed, and you can pick the GM. Guess what, guys? Information changed.
Yeah.
That's why I changed my mind. And every one of you would do the same damn thing. So when you look at the meat and potatoes of the whole damn thing, everybody would do the same thing. So let's just put it to bed and move on. It's the NFL. Feelings get hurt. People get lied to. It's $60 million, and your integrity. And all of you folks that are on social media, I would never do that. I would never go back on my word. Information changed. It wasn't the same deal anymore. And you're full of shit. You would too for $60 million. Every damn one of you would. Oh no, my integrity's not worth $60 million.
It's dumb.
Come on, man.
It's dumb. Bucs Basement says Shad Khan is such a terrible owner. He's given the head coach who has zero experience, the head coach, the keys to his entire franchise and power over GM. That's not going to go wrong.
I don't think it's a great idea. I agree with you, Bucs Basement. I do, but it's not my problem, and I don't care. I think you're right, 100%. No one's ever done that before. That's why I said Jason Light never saw this coming. But here's the other question I have for all you guys, because I know who you are and I know how you feel about Todd Bowles. If Liam Cohen would have become the head coach right after the season, if the Bucs would have gone to him and said, "Hey, you're no longer our side chick. We want you to run the whole show. You're the head coach now. Todd is going to move upstairs or is resigning or retiring. Okay? Yep. We're putting him in the Ring of Honor, whatever we want to do. But you're going to be the new head coach." And he was announced last week. Every single one of you would be up Liam Cohen's ass saying he's the man. Here we go. Bucs winning the Super Bowl. Am I wrong? Oh, but he revealed himself as a snake. Oh, but there's the Bucs. Scott Reynolds reported that the Bucs feel like there were some signs during the year and they didn't want to make him the head coach. Funny how that came out afterwards. And I'm not doubting Scott's reporting at all.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, we didn't hear any of that before this happened, did we? We heard he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. So let's keep it all in perspective, people. Let's keep it in perspective and move on. Who's the next OC? That's what I want to know.
Lewis Chesney, again, we did this earlier. Retractable roofs are for wussies, and then he said the world is full of wussies. I will tell you this, Lewis. I think since last Monday, the world's about to be have a lot less wussies in it, in my opinion. But that's just me. Since last Monday,
certainly the way things are run. And by the way, one of our good listeners here, Thomas Casper, shout out to you. He sent me this 2-page letter that has gone out to all federal agencies as to what the financial priorities are now in your agencies, and you were pausing any of the shenanigans that were going on with Green New Deal, transgenderism, all these other things that took priority over people actually doing their jobs. Some of these things are great initiatives. They just don't have a place in fire departments or military where we got to get shit done and life and death depends on it. All right, there's plenty of places to do social engineering. In my opinion, that's not one of them. So that being said, all the financing and all these other things that have been going on and money being given out for, frivolous purposes, that is all done and it's all on hold. And that includes FEMA.
Yep.
So if the city of St. Petersburg was counting on FEMA money to rebuild a baseball stadium for a billionaire who, by the way, had a Black Lives Matter logo on the back of the stadium for 5 years and that may still be there. If you think that there's FEMA money coming to rebuild that stadium that's going to be destroyed in 3 years, I got news for you. That ain't happening. Not under this administration. Not freaking happening. So that's another it's another death knell as far as the Braves ever playing in St. Pete again, in my opinion.
James says, remember the superpowers you mentioned, JP Liam's is he lies with no issue whatsoever.
James, I get it. He's a snake. We all get it. And Jason Light and the Glazers and everybody else on the Buccaneers has never told a lie in their life to get shit done. They've never told a half-truth. Everybody in the Todd Bowles is clean as the driven snow. Everybody in the NFL is super honest about everything they do at every moment except Liam Cohen. You're right. He's a bad guy. The only one in the NFL. Come
Oh,
on,
God.
dude. Come on. Let's just be – you're being a little naive here, people. And your butt hurt. Get over it.
It's still fresh. Don't get over it. It's still fresh.
Golly. That's why the people at 1010XL are laughing at you.
Yeah.
Come on.
Nathan Elliott says Cohen could not keep eye contact and carefully worded every answer during his interview. I agree about the eye contact thing because you could tell he was nervous. I don't know that he carefully worded anything.
The Duval thing? Did you see the Duval?
Yes.
When he did Duval. I was like, oh, that's awkward.
You think he even knows what that means?
No. And the pandering, the early pandering like that never comes off right unless you're doing it as a total parody. And when you're trying to do it like, hey, I'm one of the guys, and I've been doing Duval all my life. Like, no. What are you doing? Like, don't do that. People know you just got there. Don't act like you've been there for 30 years.
Jew Jetson says, damn, JP, you're spot on with the main chick, side chick analogy. Khan is the new sugar daddy.
I think that's one of the biggest problems here. For everybody that's outraged, they're outraged because they took your side chick that you really, really liked, and you were thinking about making your main. But the guy with the curly mustache came up and waved that money. And Sugar Daddy Khan got his girl. But, side chicks are a side chick for a reason, too. So we'll find out.
Rick says Tampa lost their side piece to Chaka Khan. Okay, look, that is doing a disservice to the great 71-year-old Chaka Khan, number one.
Chaka Khan.
What does she have to do with this? Jags will be Miami Dolphins North, hot start in September, October, and fizzle out. I don't think they're going to have a hot start in September. I don't think they're going to do very well at all because I don't think Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Bucs Basement, JP Shad Khan is a terrible owner and desperate, giving a person who has no idea what to do as a head coach all this power. It's going to end terribly.
No more from him. I can't. I love you, Bucs Basement, but we get it. We get it.
Bucs Basement. I'm just kidding. Let's see. Let's find some positive comments here. Here's one from James.
Talk about the positivity of the Bucs moving forward with all the great talent that they have and able to fix their defense. Nobody wants to talk about that.
James says, "I hope Bucs hire from within."
Well, that's good. I like
there you
that,
go.
James. Yeah, Thad Lewis. I like Thad Lewis.
James also said, I'm not giving Bowles a pass, but I'm not going to disrespect him. If players didn't have the utmost respect for him, this team would have given up at 4-6. I'm giving Bowles another year to fix the D. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
Apparently so is
in game management. And
apparently so is Jason Light. He's giving him a year to fix the D. So we'll see what happens.
We're not even to the Super Bowl yet, partner.
JP Michael Sorgel. Hello, Michael. Welcome to the show this morning. How huge would it be if Gruden came back and won a Super Bowl as OC? Well, he's not going to leave Barstool Sports to be an OC. I can tell you that right now.
How much is he making at Barstool? Do we know?
Let's see if Google knows.
I bet he's making a lot because they got a lot of money to spend. Portnoy wants some buddies. Pay for my buddies.
So it's a 3-year deal, and there's an opt-out, I think, after each season, but I don't see a dollar figure. You think it's $5 million a year?
I think so. I think that
sound about right.
I think that's a good guess.
And he's not going to make that as an OC.
No,
somewhere.
No, and I don't think the Bucs would hire him. I think it would be very awkward. And frankly, by the way, I don't think he's a good OC. The numbers say that. He's not. His offenses have typically been very low ranked.
Yeah. Very similar numbers, by the way, as an OC to Brian Schottenheimer. We'll get into that in a minute. Buck Tower, the definitive history of the Bucs. Super Bowl 37, and I was there.
Super Bowl 37, and I was there.
Was that a Bucs?
No.
What was Super Bowl? Who was Super Bowl 37? That would have been. Oh yeah, Oakland and the Bucs. Yeah, that was the Oakland Bucs game.
I always have 43 in my mind. For some reason, I have 40. It was super. I don't know why. it was 37. I don't know why. Is it similar? Anyway, yeah, we were there. I was there in San Diego. I flew from Philadelphia, from the cold of Philadelphia, flew directly to San Diego. I had to have my I had to wash all my clothes when I got to San Diego, and then we never went home. With Channel 8, this is back when they had money and they actually spent it. And we had like 25 people out in San Diego. And here was my favorite and worst memory of that Super Bowl. My favorite memory was being on the field for like 2.5 hours after the game doing live interviews.
Yeah.
And my good buddy Brad Johnson came out and did one interview with locals. So that was one of my crowning achievements. And and having known all of these players and knowing their backstories and being able to recall it, and it just was such a perfect moment for me as a broadcaster. It was just the pinnacle for me, and I loved it, as I had such great relationships with the players and the coaches, and it was really a highlight for me. And then the worst memory was the Super Bowl. The media hotel was Torrey Pines Lodge, which was right there where the Bucs were staying, and a 5-star resort right on the Pacific Ocean, like perfect. And it was, and we had a media rate. But our news director at the time decided that our whole team should stay together in this ratty ass motel that it's one of those ratty ass motels that they upgrade when the Super Bowl is coming. It was like the drive-in motel with the indoor outdoor air conditioner, tile floors, just nasty. And I'm like, wait a minute, why are we saying everybody has to be equal and everybody has to? I'm like, F that. We're the sports guys. We can get it. Our room would probably be cheap, but we got the cheap media rate at the 5-star. But they didn't want somebody else to be staying where the rest of the people were.
There you go. Real quick before we take a break.
Such a whiny bitch. I know.
Yeah.
Whiny bitch thing.
Real quick before our final break, Rick says, Tim, you're incorrect. That slump busting did indeed work. Unfortunately, you were their slump buster. That is true, but what I failed to mention is in the 9 games before that 21-game scoreless streak for me, or goalless streak, I did have some points. I did offer some assists. I scored 10 goals in the 9 games before that. So I had very high expectations for myself. So that's why I call it a slump. I think I had like 10 assists in that 21 games or whatever, but yeah, I just couldn't freaking score. And then Michael LaRue says, speaking of bad owners, what are the Cowboys doing, Tim? It's funny that you should ask that because I believe we're going to get into that. You want to take our final break, JP, then get into that on the other side?
Yes, let's come back and listen to the great Jerry Jones with some of the greatest quotes in head coach history, head coach press conference history.
So bad.
I just love it. I love it for the Cowboys. All right, we're brought to you by the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source. It's a great time to pop the question in 2025. Great round number, right, that year. So get on down to the Gold and Diamond Source. Great customer service. They will not try to pressure you into spending more than you want to spend, but they will find you a perfect diamond. They have 0% interest from 3 to 5 years. So you can put it on layaway, so to speak, and pay for it over time and get a really, really nice ring for a $5,000 expenditure. It's only $80 a month. So go to the Gold and Diamond Source, get the great, and you know what you're getting, by the way. 40 years of business. They're not going to cheat you like some of these other places that'll sell you fake diamonds and tell you they're real. That happens all the time, especially on the internet. Do not buy a diamond on the internet. It's the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Almerton Road. Back in 3.
Old Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing, reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included. on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Oh, there we go. Sorry. Getting all hooked up here. Let's take a bathroom break. You know how that works. Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here as we roll on.
I mean, you're on the phone. You could have just done the show from the sitting on the toilet. You know, we'd never know.
We always break new ground on this show, and that's
Would be the first time on this network.
We haven't. Oh, really? Oh, I thought we'd be breaking new ground.
No, only on this show.
We've done vasectomies live on the air. There was actually one of our listeners in the comments a couple weeks ago that said, "Oh, JP," because I said I didn't think we had video of it, but he said we did.
He said he does. We need to get that.
Wow, I don't remember that, but
yeah.
I remember it. Trust me. I'm trying to think who we had at Nashville. I think it was Jim Gray we had on while we were doing it, and I tried to explain what was going on. He was like, what? Like,
Jim
yeah, don't worry about
Gray.
it. Don't worry about it. Like, the ultimate, like, not funny guy.
Yeah, oh my gosh, right.
Interesting. All right. So welcome back. We are brought to you by the great folks at Third Generation Plumbing. If you have any AC issues or plumbing issues or any house issues whatsoever, they've been in business since 1995. So anything you need done around the house, you want an honest mechanic, plumber, AC guy to come, that's where you go. Third Generation Plumbing. You got a friend in the business, John Rodriguez. His family's been here since the 40s, and his business has been around since 95. So if anything goes wrong, you can call him directly and say, hey, this is what happened, and they'll take care of it. That's what you love about Third Generation Plumbing. So go to their website, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Reach them through there and tell them JP sent you, please. All right, so I'm watching the press conference yesterday, and I'm just waiting for Jerry to get got, as they say. Right. Somebody's going to throw out a question, and he's going to embarrass himself, as he usually does. And so the bait was this narrative that he doesn't like working outside of his comfort zone, that he won't hire somebody who's a bigger personality than him.
Right.
So you
like
take
Dion.
it from there. Yeah, right. Exactly. So that's why I knew Dion was never getting this job.
Yeah.
So you take it from there, partner.
Yeah. So, I mean, the narrative on Jerry is that he's the star of the show. He is the face of the franchise. He makes all the decisions, and he will never hire anyone that usurps one or any of those. Right. And that's just, we've come to accept that here in Dallas. The last time he did that was we were all shocked when he hired Bill Parcells in 2002. You know, I guess Super Bowl wise, clearly that didn't work out. I don't know that Bill Parcells' head was ever in that job completely 100%. And had Tony Romo, the miracle of Tony Romo, not come along at that point, Bill Parcells might have been a 1 or 2 years and done here in Dallas. He did get a Super Bowl or a playoff win with Quincy Carter at quarterback, though. That was always questionable. We didn't know how he did that. But so that's the narrative on Jerry here in Dallas and around the country. Everyone knows it's not a secret. And
Right.
Everyone's been, even the media have been very critical of Jerry. Every time he makes a head coaching decision, it's the strings. It's a puppet. It's the head coach is always a puppet here in Dallas. I don't care who it is, except
Jason
for
Garrett.
Jimmy. Except for Jimmy. Obviously his first hire, because Jimmy was clearly the brainchild of that entire 4 years. He was 5 years he was here. With the 2 Super Bowls, and then the third after he left, but with his team when Barry Switzer won in 95 against the Steelers. But so that's just that. And we always wonder if Jerry hears that criticism, like if he's conscientious of this. Well, clearly he is, because he addressed it in his press conference, but he took it to a different spin as far as his comfort zone. And I'm using air quotes for those listening on the app or on the podcast, of his comfort zone, and he just took it to a different direction than everybody. Here's Jerry Jones.
Now, I get my proverbial ass kicked over needing people in my comfort zone.
Okay, first of all, he doesn't get his proverbial ass kicked. He gets his literal ass kicked with the comfort zone comments, first of all.
This thing being about me in any way. If you don't think I can't operate out of my comfort zone, you're so wrong. It's unbelievable. This is as big.
That face on Dak's face right there, the look on Dak's face during the press conference, he's just got this dumb grin on his face like, I can't believe what I'm hearing. So it's one of two things. It's either I can't believe what I'm hearing, or he's like, oh my God, I work for the greatest franchise in the history of the NFL. I don't know which one it is, because I don't know where Dak's head is right now.
I think he's thinking is like, you got baited, and here you go. You took the bait, and watch Jerry go. And it's the same look I had on my face. I'm just laughing. It's like, dude, you took the bait on this, and now this is where you're going. Oh my God!
I would love to know what's going through Dak's head right now.
The risk as you could take, as big a risk as you could take. No head coaching experience. Now, let me share something with you. With all of that. You've just heard him reference his osmosis, his family. Anybody in this room that doesn't believe the apple doesn't go far from the tree has missed it someplace down the road, especially if there was an effort to make it that way, and there was an effort.
Okay, so does he think he hired Marty Schottenheimer to be his head coach?
Yes,
I'm so confused right now.
Yes, he does.
But then you go around to the countless numbers of coaches that Schotty has served on staff with and been around, the countless players. How often do you have someone that has 25, I'm going to say 25, it may be 26, of years of working through the human relationship and working, aspiring to learn, have his ears and eyes wide open and looking for techniques and looking for things that make coaches better?
In other words, 25 years and nobody would hire him as a head coach except you. No, that dude's been passed over more times.
All right, look, here's my official stance on this, and I've had a week now to think about it. JP, when teams or organizations or companies issue a press release late Friday, what does it usually mean?
They're hiding something.
So
they're embarrassed.
The great Tex Schramm, right? One of the founders of the Dallas Cowboys, our general manager from 60 to 89, when Jerry fired him, by the way. The dude that invented NFL cheerleaders. The dude that took over a Thanksgiving Day NFL game that nobody else wanted, but had the foresight to put the Cowboys up there with the Lions as the only two teams that play every Thanksgiving. One of the brightest individuals in the history of marketing of the NFL before Jerry, and, on terms with Al Davis and all that in the AFL at the time.
Mm-hmm.
He always said, when we've got bad news or indifferent news, we will release it on Friday evening. And he said, do you know why? Because it's too late to make the Saturday morning papers. The game is on Sunday, and on Monday, everybody's talking about the game, and by Tuesday, it's old news and nobody cares.
That's right.
That is the history of leagues and teams and whatever releasing weird news like that on a Friday night.
And businesses and governments followed suit, by the way.
Same thing, yes. Started doing the same thing. So the fact that they announced the hire on a Friday night should tell you something. And look, I don't have anything against Brian Schottenheimer. I don't know if he's going to be a good head coach. We don't know if Ben Johnson's going to be a good head coach. We don't know if Liam Cohen's going to be a good head coach. We don't know anything. Aaron Glenn in New York. I love Aaron Glenn. He's a great Aggie. He played for the Cowboys. I don't know if he's going to be a good head coach. Nobody knows any of this. So nothing against Brian Schottenheimer, but do I think this was a lazy hire? Yes. Do I think this is an uninspired hire? Yes. Do I think this is another puppet for Jerry so he can continue his tyrannical reign on Cowboys fans with his $10 billion toy that he refuses to let anybody else play with? Yes. That said, I hope Brian Shanahan goes down as one of the greatest coaches in the history of the Cowboys.
You mean
or Shanahan, Schottenheimer, yeah. See, I can't even remember his name.
Your nepotisms are being confused here.
I hate Kyle Shanahan, by the way. I don't know why I just said that.
Listen, I don't know anything about Brian Schottenheimer except the fact that he has been passed over. But the funniest thing is he's sitting there he thinks he's making a point about him being able to operate out of his comfort zone and says, this is the biggest risk I'd ever taken. And the guy's sitting right there. Like, how would you like to be at your press conference? You finally get your first head coaching, and your boss is like, this is the biggest risk ever. He's got no head coaching experience. Yes, it's not a glamorous hire.
You know who else didn't have head coaching experience when you hired him? Chan Gailey, OC of the Steelers, that you beat. By the way, you beat Chan Gailey's offense in the Super Bowl a couple years before that. Dave Campo, who was the DC under Johnson, who had 3 straight 5-11 seasons. Let's see, Jason Garrett. When he fired Wade Phillips midseason to keep Jason Garrett so he wouldn't take the Ravens head coaching job. By the way, they hired John Harbaugh. How has that worked out for them? Pretty well. No head coaching experience. You went with McCarthy. That didn't work. He won a freaking Super Bowl 10 years before you hired him. Now you're going with Brian Schottenheimer, who literally has 0 head coaching experience. He didn't call plays for you the last 2 years that he was your OC. He's never called plays anywhere.
He's never called plays?
I don't think he has he?
I don't know.
Maybe in Seattle. I bet he did in Seattle. I bet he called plays in Seattle.
Yeah.
Whatever.
When you've been in the league this long and your name's Schottenheimer and you still haven't gotten a head coaching sniff and people aren't hiring you for OC, like true OC play caller gigs.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't calling the plays in Dallas, right? McCarthy was.
It was all McCarthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He took over for Kellen Moore when Kellen Moore was fired. They elevated him to the OC position, the title, but it was always going to be Mike McCarthy's offense. Mike McCarthy called the plays. You know, I don't have a problem with that. He's been he's been an assistant head coach for 25 years on the offensive side of the ball. His dad was an offensive genius. I'm sure he knows NFL offenses, and he's probably going to do a fine job developing offenses with offensive schemes, things like that. I don't doubt any of that he can do that. I just want to see him call plays.
What I find very interesting is that, Marty Schottenheimer, what was his kryptonite? The playoffs. He could win 12 and 14 games every year, but could never do squat in the playoffs.
And John Elway.
And what has been the Cowboys' MO for the last 30 years?
Playoffs.
They can win 12 games, but they can't do squat in the playoffs.
Playoffs?
You hired a guy who, if you're hiring him because, his family and his apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
That's a no playoff tree. You went to shopping. You went and picked apples at the no playoff tree. Like, why shouldn't have gone to the Super Bowl tree? I don't know. Maybe just a thought.
Like I said, it was a lazy hire. It was an afterthought hire because you got caught with your pants down. You didn't even look at Ben Johnson. You didn't call Ben Johnson. You didn't call Aaron Glenn. You didn't call anybody.
Robert Saleh?
Supposedly they interviewed Robert Saleh. But was that just a Rooney Rule interview? And you know what? Robert Saleh didn't get a head coaching job either. He's the DC back in San Francisco now.
I was surprised by that.
I was highly surprised.
I wonder why. Like, what?
New Orleans still doesn't have a coach.
Yeah, very interesting. And because I don't think anybody wants that job. You know, salary cap is disaster.
By the way, do you hear who the front runner is now for New Orleans? Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. That's bizarre. That is bizarre. But again, Jason Witten, I thought, had a chance.
Supposedly, Jason Witten was supposed to be on staff, and nobody knows why he's not. I guarantee you, I know why.
Why?
He didn't want to mess with this. He doesn't want to come on staff and be the guy that everybody's looking at as the head coach in waiting. He doesn't want that stigma if he's here as the tight ends coach or whatever his stupid honorary role was going to be that everyone knows he's not doing anything for it. Mm-hmm. He didn't want Schottenheimer looking over his shoulder, just like we didn't want Todd Bowles looking over his shoulder to see Liam Cohen as the head coach in waiting or whatever.
Right.
Jason Witten might be a head coach in the NFL. He might be a position coach in the NFL someday. I think Jason Witten was just like, you know what? I don't really want any part of this mess. Maybe the next cycle comes around, we'll talk. I think he's better than that. He knows he's better than that.
Oh, yeah. All right. I'm trying to get to some of these comments if you want to throw them up. Rick says the Cowboys are tanking this year for next season to hire Sanders or Belichick. I don't think so.
I don't think so. Sanders ain't going to be the head coach of the Cowboys ever.
Or Belichick. He would never give Belichick all that power. No way. Right?
No. Right. Unless Jerry dies this year.
Sergio, my man, saying what I'm trying to tell you folks. Let's just move on with the Cohen thing. He went for the money. Let's talk about the future of the Bucs. I'm with you, Sergio. We will now put a moratorium on Liam Cohen unless there's any new information.
By the way, JP, you said you were hung up on Super Bowl 43 earlier instead of 37.
Yeah.
So Super Bowl 43 was the Steelers Cardinals, and that was at Ray J. So maybe that's why you keep having that in your brain.
Yeah, okay. Great Super Bowl, by the way. Ooh, that was fantastic.
The tiptoe catch.
And who did the halftime show? Bruce Springsteen.
Was it? It was Bruce Springsteen, the Street Band. It was, wasn't it? Yeah. They didn't have a wardrobe malfunction there, did they?
They did not. They did not. Not that I know of. Hopefully. Super Bowl 37, Rick says last year without a bye week. It was that's true. We had no bye week. We went right from
which they do that
Philly
again
to
too.
San Diego. Yeah. JP's other worst memory was being part of the Donkey Show in Tijuana.
I can't comment on that, but JP probably can.
No comment on the Donkey Show. Who was the the center from the Raiders that lost his mind and went down to the Donkey Show in Tijuana?
Oh my gosh, what was his name?
And that was a big part of it too. He was a badass. Barrett Robbins.
Yes,
Barrett Robbins. Yeah, had some real mental health issues and just checked out the night before. Yeah, and that was a huge loss for them. Anything else in the comments? Michael says continuity with the current Rams type scheme must be a top priority. Totally agree. Nathan Elliott says Cohen did not even say Duval correctly. It's not how you say it, it's how you say it. I know. Don't pander. So stupid. Golly. Dave Ragone just finished his interview with the Bucs. I know the name. I'm trying to put that. He's internal, is he not?
What does Dave Ragone do? Dave Ragone, current quarterbacks coach for the Rams.
For the Rams. All right. There's a Ragone. Quarterbacks coach. I'll get all these names confused. I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too. Rick says, calm down, JP. It's still funny to pile on Liam.
Well, yeah, good jokes are accepted. Yes, absolutely. If we were to talk, but let's stop the whining. Let's stop the whining. We sound like whining bitches. You know, let's man up and just, okay, you got him. Good luck with that. You know, let's just do that. All right. The Junior Caminero video. Can we roll? So I believe this is game 7 of the Dominican Republic Winter League, which is a big deal for these guys. This is a huge deal. It's like, It's every bit the World Series is in the major leagues. And unfortunately for Junior Caminero, maybe the only World Series he ever gets to be a part of until they trade him and he gets expensive, or he gets expensive and they trade him. But see, this is all I'm operating from the mindset that Stu's going to be the owner. He's not going to be the owner. Hopefully, not much longer. Oh, God, please. Anyway, here's Junior Caminero with a walk-off. I think this was a walk. It better be a walk-off with this celebration.
With that celebration, huh?
Yeah, and the call is great.
Jairo Asensio, el líder en juegos salvados de todos los tiempos. Duro por el center field. No. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
I think this must be the opposing team's radio call.
Yeah, clearly.
Óiganme, señores.
Yeah, it was the walk-off.
Look at that crowd. Oh, my God.
Tu salud con los medicamentos genéricos Línea Azul. Línea Azul, producto con calidad certificada.
Oh, it's not a walk-off.
Ese jugador llegó seguro con Mexana. Aquí se
That's the top of the ninth.
Con Mexana para
Oh,
los
it's
que
the
se la
top of the
juegan
ninth.
todos
Okay.
los días.
Yeah.
Look at this celebration.
de contacto. En su turno anterior,
Rosarena.
estrelló de aire allá al jardín central y
I'm just
aquí
going to
lo
walk
retó
home from here. Thank you.
Jairo Asensio. Y qué clase de palo. La pelota
De
regresó,
clase de claro.
So
pero
it's not a walk-off. Why are they acting like it's a walk-off?
Who cares? Who cares?
parte alta del noveno. Batazo
All right.
de
All right, look.
God, I hope they won the game.
Anota tú también con un asesor inmobiliario de Mr. Home. Una asesoría inmobiliaria
that.
diseñada a tu medida.
That is outstanding.
All right, I'm going to
Junior
play.
Caminero.
Ahí está la repetición.
I'm going to play grumpy old man. Get off my lawn here for a second.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. It's the Dominican Republic. Nobody cares.
Well, clearly they care. I
Well,
have
they
never
care a lot.
seen a home run celebration where you stop before you circle the bases to celebrate with your team, and you don't. What did I just see? Like, he literally stopped at every base, and he stopped before he even made it to first base to high five the entire team that came running out of the dugout. He stopped at third base to hug his third base coach. Like, do all that crap after you round the bases.
I tell you what, though, and from a serious standpoint, that is a high leverage situation for Junior.
Did they even win the
Caminero.
game? Like,
And he just hit a 430-foot bomb to center field. I mean, that's impressive. And
dude, that's like a 50-foot wall too in center field.
I know.
That was crazy.
That's a great experience for him to be able to have those high leverage at bats and then bring that back to the Rays. So when when he gets traded to a team that's in the World Series, he'll have kind of felt that before. But hopefully, with new ownership, he's a guy that we'll keep around, and when free agency comes, we'll sign him and keep him with our new owners, with our new stadium Tampa and our new revenue. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what we hopefully Junior Caminero is the first guy that we keep. That isn't Blake Snell, isn't Longoria, isn't Carl Crawford. It's finally the guy that we keep that isn't arrested for.
So, JP, I can confirm that was the go-ahead solo home run in the top of the ninth, and they did close it out in the bottom of the ninth to win the Dominican Republic Professional Baseball League Championship. But how stupid would that have looked if the home team, whoever it was, came back and won it in the bottom of the ninth? Now you look like an idiot.
Imagine what that celebration would have looked like.
God.
Now, so they weren't the home team in that?
No,
in
they were there.
place?
That was the top of the ninth. It was a solo go-ahead home run in the top of the ninth. You still had to close it out in the bottom, which they did. But what if they didn't? Like, then how silly does all that look?
Yeah.
And I'm okay with the celebration. It's a championship game. I get it. But, dude, just round the bases first and then celebrate when you're done.
Yeah.
That's the only problem I have with it, is that you did it during your home run trot. Like, come on. Come on, man.
One other thing we did not mention about Liam Cohen is he is now trying to take Mike Greenberg with him as the GM. And Mike Greenberg was the guy, evidently, according to Stroud, that he never texted back. Greenberg was the one who was trying to get him to come in and sign the contract because he's the contract guy. He's the guy they sent to New York when Brady agreed. They didn't waste any time to say, "Hey, come in tomorrow and sign it when you get here." He flew to New York and got Tom Brady's signature. Maybe they should have done that with Cohen, but whatever. But so if he pilfers Greenberg, that would be a problem as well. So then you'd have two major players coming out of the and when you're building a team like the Jags are, and they got some cap money to do so, you need a Greenberg to do that. So I think Shad Khan's going to open the wallet for him as well. So, but I wonder. So, and if Greenberg leaves, are y'all going to get whine about that too? Oh, he stole her. Don't do it. Man up.
Turnover is part of the name of this business. It happens at every position. It happens at every position in the front office. That's just the nature of the beast.
And in case you missed it, off the top of the show, we had our breaking news. According to our sources, very well placed, most, if not all, of the people that the Rays brought in to work on the new stadium have been furloughed at their new offices. So, yesterday, Colleen Wright came out with the piece and asked Stu what he's going to do for the March 31st deadline. It appears, this confirms what we kind of already knew, that they're not going to go forward with the deal. And they'll let it expire and then probably take the city to court and all that and try to keep the real estate deal. And at the same time, we also feel this is a further, I think it's further proof that they're in the process of selling the team. They're just liquidating everything, things they don't need moving forward are people working on the new stadium. So I think that's interesting. One last thing, the FSU football schedule came out last night. Of course, the ACC has a few Friday night television slots that they have to fill. Guess who got two of them on the road? FSU. What the ACC they're such dicks. They're just we can screw you here. And I went to look because they're playing Virginia at home on a Friday night and NC State on a couple programs, the mid-level programs that are good enough to beat you on a Friday night. They used to do this all the time when we did Thursday night games. They would put FSU on the road on a Thursday. That's how they got their first loss to Rondé and Tiki at Virginia, was a Thursday night game. So you give them a short week, you put them on the road, night game, yeah. So thanks, ACC. We love you too. But I guess that's just they're not strong enough to avoid doing those things. They have to be petty little bitches, so be it. So they have two Friday night games. I think that's the main thing. Yeah. Most of the schedule, of course, they'll be at Clemson this year. Yeah, and I looked at it. I said I'm guessing 7-5, 8-4. 7-5, 8-4 is what it looks like to me for FSU. That's what I'm going with. They got Alabama to open the season at home in their newly constructed stadium that hopefully will be done and hopefully be sold. I don't know how the sales are going for those $50,000 seats on the 50-yard line in the new premium club, but we'll see. So that's they start with that. Then they get East Texas A&M, whatever the hell that is.
It's in Commerce, Texas, right down the road here.
And I don't have the rest of it right in front of me. But the main point is two Friday night games on the road in conference. Thank you, ACC.
The great Wade Wilson played for East Texas State or East Texas, whatever. Texas A&M.
What did it used to be called?
It used to be called East Texas State. That's why I just referred to it as that. And then it was Texas A&M Commerce. And now it's whatever. But it's part of the Texas A&M system.
Huh.
It's not a big school.
No, I know there's no reason to be playing that game. Even to just get W's. It's so stupid. That's like nobody wants to see that. All right. Great show today. Super fun show. If you missed anything, you can always listen back to it as a podcast or go watch it on YouTube. Please subscribe and like this broadcast. Share it if you would. FanStream Sports is our YouTube channel and JP Peterson Show. And please like our JP Peterson Show new Twitter and follow us there. Have a great day, everybody. We will be back at you tomorrow with more fun and frivolity. See you then.